In this series, we will be not only just studying the Valmiki Ramayan, shloka by shloka, and trying to understand the nectar out of it, clear all the doubts. We have got a lot of doubts. Oh, Lord Ramchandra ji ne kaise chupkar Bali ko mara? Bali was killed by Lord Rama hidingly. What type of God he is? Or some of will come up with some question. Why did Lord Rama do Agni Pariksha to Sita Mataji? So there are various burning questions which has been looming around our head for long. The reason is we have never understood Ramayan to the core and facts, and that is what we are going to learn this entire series. So to start with, it is already 8:10, so we can start with the lecture. First, I'll read the salutations which we are supposed to read before we start into the introduction. All those students who are having the Ramayana book, this book who are already having, please remove this book and be ready. We will be reading from this. Dipali, you will be reading? You can read? You got the book with you? Huh? If not, you get the book. Till then, you have the book, right?
Making the video live on Facebook.
Acha, you want to make the PDF live? Okay, that's great. So our host is very, very merciful. Huh? She wants to make it live, but you'll have to first make my screen as pin up the screen first. So y'all are lucky. The PDF of the initial part of the book will be sent to you on the group also. You all can read the shlokas at your end also. At the same time, it will be put up on the screen. Even if you put it in the what do you say, WhatsApp group also, it's okay. You have to put the spotlight on me.
Yes, Prabhuji, 2 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. Let's start with reading with the salutations. Let's start with the salutation to Lord Ganesha. Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakarishu Sarvada Gajanan Bhut Ganati Sevitam Kapita Jambu Palasara Bhakshitam Umasutam Shok Vinashakaranam Rama Vigneshwara Pada Pankajam. Now we read the salutations to Sage Valmiki. So Kujantam Ram Ramiti Maduram Maduraksharam Aru Kavita Shakham Vande Valmiki Kokilam Valmiki Muni Samhasya Kavita Vanacharinaha Shunman Ram Katha Nadam Punayati Param Gatim Ya Pibata Satatam Ramacharitam Sagaram Atriptusam Munim Vande Prachetas Kalmasham Yavat Sayati Gireya Starachi Mahitale Tavat Ramakatha Lokeshu Pracharitashi. Now we do salutations to Lord Hanuman. Goshpadi Kurusham Varisham Maski Kuruta Rakshasam Ramayanam Mahamala Ratnam Vande Anilatmajam. Anjana Nandanam Viram Janaki Shok Nasanam Kapis Aksham Antaram Vande Lanka Bhayankar Manojamam Marutulya Vegam Jitendriyam Buddhimatam Varishtam Patatmaja Vanar Yutha Mukhyam Sri Ramadutam Sirsam Namami Yatra Yatra Raghunath Kirtanam Tatra Tatra Krut Mastak Anjalim Bash Paripurna Lochanam Marutim Namat Rakshasantakam. Then salutations to Lord Rama. Om Apada Apahartaram Dataram Sarva Sampadam Lokabhiramam Srirama Bhuyo Bhuyo Namamiham. Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandraya Vedase Raghunataya Nathaya Sitaya Patehe Namaha. Neelambuja Shamala Komalangam Sita Samaropita Vama Bhagam Pano Maha Kshayaka Charu Chapam Namami Ramam Raghuvamsham Natham. Ved Pare Pumsi Jate Dasrat Atmaji वेद प्राचीत वेद प्राचीत दासीद साक्षात रामायण आत्मनः. These are all on page number 7. Don't worry, it's already been shared with you in the group also, and will be shared on the screen. So this entire book gives you the every shloka and this thing. You already read that. So Dipali, I would request you to start with the introduction. Just take us up to the introduction part, and I would request someone, let Deepali itself read the introduction, the first paragraph, so we understand the entire. Yes, that's okay. You can start reading. Do you have the access to read, or should I read?
According to the Shastras, under the Smriti section, there are two Itihasas, the Ramayan and the Mahabharata, which gives us an assimilation of the Vedas through historical events. The Lord has innumerable incarnation, such as the Matsya, fish avatar, Varaha, and Narsingha, half lion, half man, to name a few. However, the stories of Lord Rama and Lord Krishna are heard and spoken all over the globe. The reason is that other incarnations were for a very short time and only for a specific purpose of killing a demon or saving a devotee. But in the incarnation of Lord Rama and Lord Krishna and Lord Rama, the Lord stay on the earth for a long time and interacted with various devotees.
Okay, let's just stop. I'd like to explain till now what you've read. I'd like to explain. You can stop the screen sharing and you can put on the normal screen. Yeah, so now we are starting with the actual Ram Katha. So in the introduction, we have been given an idea of two types of Vedic literature. One is Shruti and one is Smriti. Now, basically, what does Shruti and Smriti mean? In Shruti, Shruti means that which has been heard. There, all the Vedas come under the section of Shruti. Whereas Smriti is that which is remembered, and that is remembered by great sages, great personalities, great devotees, and they remember and they write it down in those days it was palm leaves. They write it in palm leaves and keep it. And that is how courtesy to those people that we are having this study material today. So Ramayanam basically comes into the Smriti section of the Shastra. And in the Smriti section, there are Itihasas. In the Itihasas, there are two main Itihasas, that is Ramayana and the Mahabharata. Now, what is the purpose of Ramayana and Mahabharata in a general nutshell? What is the purpose for writing this Ramayana? It is said the Vedas are very intricate. It is very difficult to understand the Vedas because it's in depth. Too many rules. And how do we understand the rules? So, in the form of Ramayana and Mahabharata, it is nothing else other than the Vedas in the pictorial form, in the form of a story wherein in various situations one understands what the Shastra is actually telling. And that is enacted by the various characters in both the Ramayana and the Mahabharata. Second purpose of writing these itihasas, that is the Ramayana and Mahabharata, is basically we all are God-fearing people. In India, you'll see people going around to the temples, doing so-called vratas and so many austerities. Everything is done, but it is done for what purpose? It is only done because they are God-fearing. They fear God. If I don't do this, something bad, something inauspicious will happen to me. However, once we read the Shastra, when we read the Ramayana and the Mahabharata, because the Bhagavad Gita is a part of the Mahabharata. So we generally people take the Bhagavad Gita very easy. Yes, no doubt. It's 700 shlokas. Ramayana is 24,000 shlokas. Bhagavatam is 18,000 shlokas. One may say it's a huge quantity. Still very, very less compared to the Vedas, which are going in lakhs and lakhs and lakhs of shlokas. And then there is no illustration to those injunctions, whereas Ramayana and Mahabharata, in the form of a story, gives us the injunctions and understanding. Today, basically, we'll be dealing with the introductory part, and we'll be starting the actual shloka number 1, from the next lecture. So, basically, this is the purpose. And in Lord, in the form of his various incarnation, he descends down to the earth from a spiritual world. And the purpose of coming to this material world, what is the purpose? There are some specific actions. The smallest incarnation of God was in the which avatar? Anyone can guess? The Nursing avatar. It started at 6:45, ended at 6:50. Because the Lord did not have nothing to do much. He just came out of the pillar, picked up Hiranyakashipu, put him on his thighs, tore apart his stomach, killed him. No dialogue, no fighting, nothing. It was just happened in 1 minute. And then a little bit of blessing to Prahlad Maharaj. And that's it. That's why our acharyas say the smallest avatar is of Hiranyakashipu. Killing of Hiranyakashipu, that is Nursing avatar. Rest avatar are all long time. That is Ramchandraji and Shri Krishna. Krishna Lila is also quite big. And every action of Lord Krishna and Lord Rama is an instruction from the Shastra, from the Vedas. It is a direct instruction. And that is what we understand. Okay. You can go to the, okay, I'll read myself because then again you have to share it. All of you all can go into the group and read it from the book also, the PDF which has already been given. And Valmiki Ramayan, Maharishi Valmiki, the Adi Kavi, the first poet, has written this great epic Ramayanam, as known as Adi Kavya, and the Vedas, which is illustrated by Lord Rama through his Leelas. In the Bhagavad Gita 4.9, Lord Krishna says, Janma karma chame divyam, evam yo veti tatvataha, vaikta deham punarjanma, na yeti ma meti so Arjuna. Lord says, my janma and my karma are very divya. So what does this mean? Is janma and karma are divya? It means we need to take some divinity from his birth, from his activities. Janma, karma chame divyam. Karma means actions. So what all Lord did? Many people come up with questions. Sir, Krishna cheated in the Mahabharata Yuddha, He asked Arjuna to fire his arrow at Karna. who was without a weapon. He was not even inside the Ratha. He was below the Ratha. At that time, he fired the arrow. And Krishna incited Arjuna to fire that arrow. Krishna told Duryodhana, Bhima, to hit Duryodhana below the hip, which was again not allowed as per the rules. So all this are divine actions, and one can understand it only when they understand it through a spiritual master. Without a guru, one cannot understand what the Shastra is actually trying to get. You need a spiritual master to take out the essence out of it. Otherwise, as I told you in the beginning, a Ramayana starts at simple. Ram got married with Sita, he broke the vow, married Sita, went to the forest, got exiled, went to the forest, Sita got kidnapped, and we all know it, that blah, blah, blah. But each turn of Ramayana and Mahabharata has a big lesson for all of us to imbibe even to this day. You know the best speciality of Ramayana and Mahabharata? We all know the story, but still want to listen to it. I think all of you are present in this group right now. They know very well what Ramayana is, but still you all want to listen to it. Definitely, there is something which is pulling you. Whereas yesterday's newspaper doesn't attract you. Whereas thousands of year-old Ramayana attracts all of us. That is the special. Now, it is said, Sadhu and Shastra, they both are very rare to get. Sadhu Sang and Satsang and Katha, Hari Katha, are very rare to get. Rest, wife, children, money, everything is there, even with a sinner. Papi ke bhi hai. Then what is the benefit of a person having Ramayana and Mahabharata studying? What's so special? It is a rare thing. Mind you, so many people are there around the globe, but how many people actually get a chance to go for a satsang and understand it? When you go to North India, especially, there is Bhagavad Saptah every week. Every week there is a Bhagavad Saptah. But what is the use of the Bhagavad Saptah for a common man? He says, "Arey, wo to sun liya. I've heard it. I've heard it n number of times." Then you have not heard it. One who hears it and develops an interest to listen to it, that means he has really heard it. Otherwise, he has not heard it. He feels it's like just watching another movie, same movie. How many times you watch the same movie? Spiritual things are divine. That is why Lord says, Janma karma cha me divyam. Evam yo veti tattvataha. In tattvataha means in reality, in totality. One who understands this, he will surely achieve me. That's what Lord says in the Bhagavad Gita. And that's for sure. One who understands the Ramayana and the Mahabharata in totality will surely achieve. That's the purpose of doing Harikatha on Ekadashi, right? Many people say, why should we achieve God? What's the purpose of achieving God? So I can tell one thing. How much can you achieve in material world? That which you have to leave and go. Because we are all souls. Lord says in the Bhagavad Gita, Mamevan Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. We are all fragmental parts of the Lord. And when we are belonging to the spiritual world, why are we believing? Why are we loitering around this material world? Building a house. The minute we die, our Aadhaar card, our PAN card, our account, bank account, everything freezes. Why are we busy doing it? And put it in a very simple way. Spiritual things cannot be achieved materially. Now, many times I see that people are crazy about materially things which are called to be spiritual. Like if you get a holy garland of the Lord, no doubt it's very spiritual. But you know what's the speciality of God? Why Ramayana and Mahabharata makes it difficult? Because there are two things by which a product is made. For example, let's say a table. How is a table made? A table is made by wood. And who makes it? A carpenter makes it. So there are two things. What is that? Wood and carpenter for a table to be ready. What is that? Wood and carpenter. Wood is called as the Upadan Karya, and the carpenter is called the Nimitta Karya, by which the person who makes the table is the carpenter. Any one factor is there, the table cannot be made. Suppose there is wood, but there's no carpenter, the table won't be ready. Suppose there's a carpenter, but there is no wood, the table won't be ready. But in case of God, or in case of this entire creation, God himself is the wood and the carpenter. For other to explain it more elaborately, let's say a potter makes pot. But if he makes a pot, what does he require? He requires mud. But who has made the mud? Did God call up some sand supplier and said, "Mujhe 1000 truck matti bhej do. I want to make the earth. Send me some gallons of water. I want to make the sea. Send me 10 quintals of salt. I want to make the sea water salty." How did it happen? Please understand, that is why we all know God is great, but we all don't know how great God is. We all don't know how great God is. We know God is great. And that's the reason why we are obsessed about God. We are having a fascination towards God, but we don't have a developed inclination to achieve God. The reason is very clear. It is only and only because we have never understood the nature of God. We see that, oh, God is a person. There are lots of communities in the spiritual segments which fight. God is having a form, God is not having a form, God is Nirakar, God is Sakar, this and that. My dear, God is much above than that. He is Sakar. At the same time, the work he does is in the form of Nirakar, in the formless form, he does everything. He can be water, he can be mud, he can be the air, he can be the sun, he can be the moon. He has to become everything. Then only the creation is possible. That is why we find it difficult to. And that is the reason why we come around with a lot of questions. Why is God behaving like this? Why did he kill Wali hidingly? Why did he do Agni Pariksha for Sita? So many questions. How did he leave his pregnant wife in the jungle? People come with crazy questions, doubting the divinity in God. God always is divine. His divinity never comes down. What is the problem is in our understanding and how great God is. So, to understand a little step further, how spiritual we all are actually, let's understand it through a small biblical story. I don't want to tell you a Shastric story because we are all English speaking people. I was in a convent school myself. I was from Xavier School. So we all used to have an attraction towards the biblical way in which the Bible has been written. And there you all must have heard the story of Adam and Eve. I'm sure most of you all must have heard the story of Adam and Eve. In the Hindi, it is said as Adam and Hawa, right? So what is the story actually talking about? Adam and Eve were basically in the heavenly world. They were not in this world. And they were living very happily. And God had told them, enjoy everything, but don't eat the fruit of one specific tree. And a Satan, that is, and then Eve, as any other lady would do with her husband, instigated her husband to get the fruit from the forbidden tree. And when they got the forbidden tree, the fruit, Lord said, now you have disobeyed me. Or Shastra say, Lord says, Mame vanshi jivaloke, my human, my all these beings are my parts and parcels. But for some fault, for desire, they have come down from the spiritual world to this material world. And Shastra gives us the staircase or the lift to go back to the spiritual world. And this, not only the Shastra, specific days of speciality are also there. Like Ekadashi, Janmashtami, Ramnavami, all these festivals are also a nice way in which one can do some austerity, do some nice devotion, and go back to spiritual. But to go there, it takes a lot of efforts. Is it really? People generally say it takes a lot of efforts. No, it doesn't take a lot of efforts. All it requires is a little bit of understanding and little bit of efforts in the spiritual understanding. In fact, it is more easier than material world. Huh? I can guarantee that. Okay, so going ahead with the book. Ramayana has many connotations. The word Uttaraka, very important. Yeah, I forgot this. Very important. Ramayanam. The word itself is very, very important and tricky. All of you must have heard about Uttarayan, Dakshinayan. What does Uttarayan mean? The sun moving towards the Uttar. Ayan means the way, the process of going, and Uttar means north. Dakshinayan means Dakshin, south. Ayan means travel or journey. Journey southward, journey northward. Same way, Ramayan means the journey of Lord Rama. Rama, Ayan. Ayan means journey. But Acharyas go one step ahead. They say Ramayan means it is the story of, it is a story where Ramchandraji finds Sita. Story where Sita is found, and that is what is called as Ramayana. So the name itself is talking about Rama's journey. Jaisa Uttarayan, वैसे ही is Ramayan. So Acharyas say that Lord Rama is the, it is say that Ramayana is the story of Sita Mata, because Lord Rama dwells in the Ramayana itself. He lives in the Ramayana itself. And that is why Ramayana was also called as Sitayanam also by certain Acharyas. Then Valmiki Ramayan has its unique importance. Sage Valmiki meditated and saw the entire Ramayana. Achha, how many people, how many of you all think that Valmiki Rishi was a dacoit before becoming a Rishi? That's the general story we all have heard, right? The general myth. The first myth I would like to break today. Lord says, Valmiki says, when Rama leaves Sita and Love and Kush are born, and when Ramchandraji comes and finds out that Love and Kush are none other than his children, and he meets Sita, that time Valmiki comes and he says, in my whole life, I have never done any sin. This comes in the Uttarakanda. I have never done any sin. I have not done any problem. I have not done anything wrong. The only thing I can tell you is I can vouch on my purity that Sita is pure. So Acharyas say, Valmiki was never a dacoit. It is mentioned in the Ramayana that when Lord Rama comes to Chitrakoot, there he meets another sage with the same name, Valmiki. And that Valmiki could have been the famous story of dacoit. But sage Valmiki, who has written the Ramayana, is nowhere part of that dacoit story. He has been pure from the day one, and that's what is meant. So what does Ramayana basically teaches us? What are the two things, major things which Ramayana teaches us? First is Sharanagati. What is Sharanagati? Surrender. So how is that surrender is being taught in the Ramayana? At every step, there is surrender in the Ramayana. It is said, I like to read from the book, which is very, very we living entities must have repeated birth, must have taken repeated birth, followed by repeated death, without any choice. Hence, this world is called as Mrityu Loka. However, for God, there is no compulsion to take birth, but He takes birth to teach us how to surrender. What was the need for Lord Krishna to surrender to Sandipani Muni, his teacher? He wanted to teach the world. What is the need for Lord Ramchandraji to learn everything from Vashishta Muni or from Vishwamitra? Everywhere he surrenders. The last stage, Agastya Muni teaches him. He gives him the Aditya Hridaya Sutram. I'll be explaining that. We'll be discussing that also at leisure. So many things are there, which is all teaching about Sharanagati. Right from Sharanagati of Hanuman, Sharanagati of Sugriv, Sharanagati of Vibhishan, every stage of Ramayana is nothing but Sharanagati. And Sharanagati means unless and until one doesn't surrender himself to God, he can never achieve. And what is the need to surrender to God? Very simple. How does one surrender? How does one actually surrender to God? It's very simple. When you give up your free will, your choice, and take up the choice of what God gives, then you are a surrendered soul. For example, when Hanumanji came and sat in front of Lord Ramchandraji, inquiring about his purpose of coming to Kishkinda, and then he takes him to Sugriv. Then he understands, oh, I am supposed to surrender. Though he was supposed to be a servitor of Sugriva, he later changed his servitorship and came to Lord Ramchandraji. So everywhere, surrender is a part and parcel, and we cannot avoid or progress in spiritual life without surrendering to God and the spiritual master. Both are same. Spiritual master can be godly, but can never be God, whereas Lord is always Lord. You cannot compare him with any human activities, or rather, we have to increase our intellect to understand his activities. And the second important thing is dharma. Now, this is what is a burning topic of today. Dharma. What is dharma? Lord teaches. The Shastra says, most of us may not be knowing the meaning of dharma. Dharayati iti dharma. That which you take up as your duty. Dharma means duty. For example, a small boy is born or a girl is born. What is that duty? Right now, his duty is the duty of a son. Putra dharma. When he goes bigger, he gets married, then he has got pati dharma. But that doesn't mean putra dharma is gone. Putra dharma is there, plus pati dharma also comes. If it is a lady, for her pati dharma, her father-in-law, mother-in-law taking care of them, and taking care of parents. Then a few days later, the fatherly dharma, pitra dharma starts. Father's duty starts. Along with that, a duty towards your society, duty towards your friend, duty towards your boss, duty towards your organization, and number of duties you have got. I think you all will agree with your duties, what you perform. You've got a duty towards your society, to your friend, and sometimes to your in-laws. So many duties, and all are dharma. But the tragedy is we don't do our duty towards God from whom we have come out as a part and parcel. हम किसके पुत्र हैं? भगवान के. We are children of God. So if we are children of our parents, we are supposed to serve them, take care of them. Are we not supposed to take care of our Supreme Father, who is God? So dharma doesn't mean religion. Dharma actually means duty. You got any number of dharmas. None can be avoided. Everything has to be executed. You cannot say, now I'm a father, I will not do a duty of a husband. I am a husband, no, I will not do a duty of a son. No. Tomorrow, if you are a grandfather or a grandmother, you have to do the duties of a grandfather or a grandmother too. So what does this mean? Dharma is everywhere, but there is something called higher, and that higher dharma is swadharma, or dharma towards a God. Now this dharma has been divided very nicely by our acharyas. The first part is explained like samanya dharma. This is given by Govindaraj Swami in his commentaries. He is giving samanya dharma, or general duties. Now what is samanya dharma? Samanya dharma has been exhibited by Lord Ramchandraji. He was a good son. He was a good husband. He was a good friend to Guha, good friend to Hanuman, good friend to Sugriv. So he was a good statesman. He was a good brother. You name it, he was good. All worldly dharma was executed by Lord Ramchandra. Yeah, all of you can refer to page number 6. It's given. Then the next is Vishesh Dharma, special dharma. And who is that person who has enacted the special dharma? It's none other than Lakshmana. I will say, how did Lakshmana do? He left his mother, his wife. So he has discarded, or rather opted for, a special dharma than the Samanya dharma. Lord Rama did not do that. Lord Rama took his wife. Whereas Lakshmana did not take his wife. He left his wife there. He said bye-bye to his father. In fact, he said, I'm ready to fight against my father. I'll kill my father. You just become the king. When he was asked to go to the forest. But Rama said, no, it's okay. We will go to the forest. The purpose of going to the forest was different. Unless until they don't go to the forest, how will the Rakshasas will be eliminated? So Lakshmana plays a very nice role. When there is a choice to be taken between Vishesha Dharma and Dharma, we, in the present scenario, generally look at the Samanya Dharma. But Shastra teaches us, no, give more priority to the Vishesh Dharma. Vishesh Dharma means serving Lord personally. Today, people have time to serve their DOG. Right? People have time to serve dog, but they don't have time to serve God. My dear, we have to serve God. I'm not saying we should not take care of dogs. Please do take care of them. It's a nice social work, and it's something which is makes you more soft-hearted and more loving. But you can do all your dharma. There's nothing wrong. But in that, along with that, what you're supposed to do is Vishesha Dharma. But something higher than that is there, and that is called Visheshtar Dharma. So what first is Samanya Dharma, Vishesh Dharma, Visheshtar Dharma, more special duties exhibited by Bharat. By following one's Samanya Dharma, Vishesh Dharma, at times, a time of need, he followed the Visheshtar Dharma. How did he do that? Bharat scolded and cursed Kaikeyi. He said, which was against Visheshtar Dharma, but still he did. Kaikeyi means his own mother. He scolded his own mother. Why did he scold her? You have done wrong towards God, towards my elder brother. And then what does he do? He went to the forest to get, oh, I'm not going to come back. He accepted it. Unlike Lakshmana, he went a step ahead, following his instruction, took his paduka, kept it in the throne, stayed outside at Nandigram, a few kilometers outside Ayodhya, in a cave below the earth, and followed the instructions of Lord Rama. So this is called a pure devotee's dharma. Devotee means what? He follows the dharma of the country. He followed the dharma of the country, of taking care of the country, taking care of the people, taking care of running the kingdom, at the same time following his spiritual rules and abiding by all advice. So this was higher. But the highest Vishishtam Dharma was exhibited by Shatrughna, the most least talked about person in the entire Ramayana. Many characters, many people does not know, oh, he's the fourth brother, I know that much. But what role did he play? पूरा रामायण में कहीं उसका action ही नहीं देखा. We have never seen him perform any action. No, that's not the fact. He was truly following the highest dharma, Vishishtam Dharma. He was not only performing his Samanya Dharma, he was following his Vishesh Dharma of doing all the rituals towards God. But he became Vishishtam because he was serving Bharata, who was the devotee of God. So what is the principle which is given in the Bhagavad Gita or in the Mahabharata? Gopi Bharatalu Das Das Dasanu Das. It is said one must be a servant of the servant of Lord. Then he achieves Lord faster than to be a direct servant of the Lord. You know, we all want to be direct servant of the Lord. We want to go in front of the temple. So Lord, look at me, only see me, don't see others. I am the most dedicated person towards you. No. If you serve one person who is already dedicated to the Lord, the Lord is more happier with you. And this is what has been exhibited by. So this is how we have to understand the entire Ramayana talks about only two things, Sharanagati and Dharma, duties. What is to be done at what place? And in our day-to-day life, we all will come across some situations. And it is through the help of the Ramayana and the Mahabharata do we understand to solve these problems of our day-to-day life, taking the nectar out of these Shastra. If one doesn't take out the nectar of these Shastra, it is very, very difficult for one to understand what and how the Dharma is to be followed. If you see Hanuman, he used all the capabilities of all his greatness in only one thing, in satisfying Lord Ramchandra. And that is why he is more glorious as Lord Ram himself. And it is said, if you want to please Rama, you have to first please, whom do you have to please? Hanuman. If you please Hanuman, Lord Rama is pleased automatically. And if you want to please Hanuman, please Lord Rama. Serve Lord Ramchandraji, Hanuman will be pleased. Now, who is Hanuman and all? We'll be studying the characters as we go ahead because so many things have to be discussed. Another small important finding of the Ramayana is Ramayana has got 24,000 shlokas. How many of you have heard? All of you must have heard about the Gayatri mantra. Just an information, Gayatri mantra has no connection with Devi Gayatri, Goddess Gayatri. Absolutely no connection. It is a 24-word mantra which is recited in a specific meter. 24-letter mantra which is recited in a specific meter. And this was devised by, any guesses? Vishwamitra. Yes, very nice. Vishwamitra ji only has formed the Gayatri mantra. And in the 24,000 shlokas, for every 1,000 shlokas, the first alphabet means For the first 1,000, one alphabet, first alphabet. Then 1,001 verse, the second alphabet. So if you go like that, for 24,000 becomes 24 alphabet. And that which forms is called as Gayatri Ramayan. It is a perfect Ramayan in the Gayatri, in the perfect meter of Gayatri. And that is why Valmiki Ramayan is very, very. I do not try to downside any other Ramayan. All Ramayan are equally. If you see Ramcharitmanas, very famous in northern India, Ramcharitmanas is more famous. But how did Tulsidas ji write the Ramcharitmanas? How many of you can please raise your hand and let me know how many of you have read the Ramcharitmanas? Oh, nobody. Okay. Ramcharitmanas basically is a conversation between Sita Mata, Parvati and Shiva. Parvati and Shiva's conversation. And this is been actually derived from the Adhyatma Ramayana, which is also a conversation between Shiva and Parvati told by Brahma to Narada. So there are various Ramayana. I don't think there is only one Ramayana. There is Adhyatma Ramayan, Kamba Ramayan, and Ramcharitmanas, Valmiki Ramayan. To this, other than this, there is Bilva Ramayan, there is Nath Ramayan. So many subset Ramayans are written in various languages, in their own regional languages. But Valmiki Ramayan has been mentioned as Adi Kavya. And Valmiki ji has been mentioned as Adi Kavi. Adi Kavi means the first poet. And how he writes this in the poetical form is a story by of its own, which we will read in the next week. In the next session, we will read. And we will try to understand the relevance of Valmiki Ramayan with respect to Ramcharitmanas. There are various things which are mentioned in Ramcharitmanas, but is not mentioned in Valmiki Ramayan. There is a reason behind it. This was written in a different social situation where in Treta Yuga, women were given a lot of power. Women were given a lot of, strong. They were bold. They were considered bold. Whereas during the Mughals' time, Tulsidas ji wrote the Ramcharitmanas. So there, Sita Maya has been showed as a very timid and soft lady, whereas Valmiki shows Sita Maya as a very bold and a very ferocious lady. She is none other than Lakshmi, mind you. And it is always said, this first Balkand we'll be discussing is from the birth of Lord Ramchandraji to the marriage of Lord Ramchandraji. And for many sadhus in Ayodhya, Ramayana ends with the Balkand, with the marriage of Lord Rama with Sita. And it is said, these people, all the sadhus say, we are not interested in the killing of Ravana and all that stuff. We know Lord has come, he is going to kill all the asuras. It is Ram had incarnated in this earth with Sita Maya for only one purpose, to get married. In no other Leela, you will see Lord getting married with his wife in a proper form. Who will marry with a nursing avatar? Who will marry a Varaha avatar? Who will marry a Kachua avatar? Nobody will marry a tortoise. Nobody will marry a boar. Nobody will marry a half man, half lion. Nobody will marry a ship, fish drawing the ship, Matsya avatar. So which is the actual avatar? Lord got married in two avatars, Ram Leela and Sita. Krishna Leela. In Krishna Leela, Lord did wholesale marriages, 16,108 marriages, officially recorded, on record. But out of those so many marriages, show me one marriage which was nicely, in a very nice manner, in which we all like to have a videography made. Just imagine Rukmani Vivah, Lord coming, kidnapping the heroine, taking her, and then the whole girl's family following them behind, Rukmi and her brother, and everyone is falling behind, and then there's a big war between Balram and this thing, and finally everyone's head is being broken, Maramari. a lot of action, and finally, Lord marries Rukmani. Even in case of Jambavati, how was the marriage? Marriage was also after a fight for 28 days between Jamban and Lord Krishna. So there was no proper marriage in any of the 1008 ladies were already kidnapped by Narakasura, whom he married. So it is said the most elaborate version of marriage is mentioned in the Ramayana between Lord Rama and Sita, both in Ramcharitmanas as well as in Valmiki. Ramcharitmanas goes 2 steps ahead, not 1, 2 steps ahead in describing the marriage as a very romantic affair. And when we'll come to that part, we'll discuss at large. I'm just, as I told you, this is an intro lecture, just basic introductions we will be discussing in this, and we'll be taking the few questions at 10 o'clock. I'll take some questions from all of you. Sorry, 9 o'clock, I'll take some questions from all of you so that you all can get doubts, questions cleared off. So basically, the marriage session is taken very beautifully. It will be described in both the Ramayana, both in Valmiki Ramayan as well as in Ramcharitmanas. And another reason why Acharyas give is Sita and Rama are none other than Lakshmi and Vishnu. So Lakshmi and Vishnu are eternal consorts. They never got married. They never have father and mother and then they got married. They are eternal consorts. So once Lakshmi told Vishnu, why not we go? I want a proper marriage. I want a marriage anniversary to be celebrated. If you have a marriage date, then you have a marriage anniversary. But we are already eternal consorts. How can we get married? I want to get married. So Lord said, okay, fine. We'll go to the earth and there we will incarnate. We will get married. So then we will have a date, anniversary date, marriage anniversary. And there we can get married very nicely. Fine. And that is the reason Lord comes in the incarnation of Lord Rama and Sita Mata, and they both get married. So you can, at every corner of Ramayana, so much of essence is there to be taken. And it's limitless, it's endless. Okay, I think with this I'd like to close the introduction, because if I start the first verse, it will require one full lecture. It's a huge verse, but I would like the host to give the permission to unmute all of you so that you all can ask me some questions, doubts, or any comments, anything you have, you all can interact.
I have given the permission.
Yeah, given the permission, right? Yeah. Yes, anybody has got any doubts, anything about Ramayana or Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita? I'm okay with everything.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी।
Hare Krishna.
प्रभु जी, मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि why this Valmiki Ramayan is not that popular as this Tulsidas ji Ramcharit.
People prefer to eat in the roadside corners, or what we call as fast food, rather than eating on a high-end restaurant because it's costlier. Valmiki Ramayan was written in Sanskrit. Second, it was written at a time much earlier. Ramcharitmanas was just, it took birth a few 100 years before, the Mughal era, when Aurangzeb was alive. It is that time, at that time, Ramcharitmanas was written. And it was written in Awadhi, a language which the localites could interact with or connect with. That is the reason it became more famous than Valmiki Ramayan, because people to read Valmiki Ramayan find it difficult because it's written in Sanskrit. And Sanskrit is not, in today's date, ironically, thanks to the British invasion, we are now only studying English. So that's why I had to translate the book also in English, Valmiki Ramayan, so that the youth and the coming generation who are conversant with English, they can read it in English. So the main purpose is the difference in era. Okay, all of you who are present here, I would like to give you all one very astonishing fact about Hanuman Chalisa. How many of you know how Hanuman Chalisa was written? Can anyone has an idea? I mean, all of you all must be aware of Hanuman Chalisa or reciting it some way or the other.
Yes, yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, it is said that during Mughal period, Tulsidas was, you are referring about this Ramcharitmanas, isn't it?
Yeah.
So during Mughal period, the emperor had heard a lot. I mean, it was a period of Akbar. And he had heard a lot about Tulsidas. So he sent a message. He should come and meet Akbar in the court. Tulsidas was a very simple person, religious minded. He said, why should I go? If he wants to meet me, he should come here. But anyway, when I'll be free and I'll go somewhere that direction, I'll meet him. He didn't really follow the instruction of the emperor. So the emperor was very annoyed and he sent a message.
No,
The
started.
Chalisa was written because he was imprisoned.
But he went to the
later
court.
on he went and
he went as he was invited, and when he went into the court, he asked him questions, and then finally he said, if you can do some miracle, show me some miracles. You show me some miracles. He said, I can't show any miracles. I'm not God. He says, no, if you are saying that you are a great saint, show some miracles. And he imprisoned him. And overnight, in one night, Tulsidas ji wrote the entire chaupais of Hanuman Chalisa. The entire 40 chaupai jo tha, it was written in overnight. And the next day morning, lakhs of monkeys attacked Delhi. It was Agra. It was not even Delhi. It was Agra. Lakhs and lakhs of monkeys attacked Agra, and the entire prison was literally like people were outnumbered. The monkeys outnumbered the number of soldiers also. So the king knew very well that he cannot do anything about it. So he understood it to be a miracle, and his ministers advised him, please release Tulsidas ji. Otherwise, these monkeys will kill us. They'll destroy the entire country. So immediately Tulsidas ji was released, and the minute Tulsidas ji was released, all the monkeys went back. And the minute they went back, till the end of the era of the king, never so many monkeys were ever seen. That is why it is said, Joya Pade Hanuman Chalisa. Oye Siddhi Saki Gopis. So it is always said, please read the Hanuman Chalisa as and when possible. It's not necessary that you have to read it on a Friday or a Saturday. You can read it anytime. But it's very important that one who reads it is really protected by Lord protects him. Here the Lord came in the form of sent so many monkeys. See, many times Lord need not come personally. No, there was a very nice question asked by Akbar to Birbal. Akbar asked, hey Birbal, your religion, in your religion, all these gods, they come down. Why? See, our God never comes down. We have no problem. In your religion, you have gods coming down. What is the need? Birbal said, okay, I will explain to it. He can easily send someone to solve the problem. If there is a problem, what is the need for him to come down personally? Immediately, Birbal said, okay, I'll let me think it out and I'll answer. He didn't answer immediately. Fully went away. Then after a few days, Birbal arranged a small, picnic or Vihar, Nauka Vihar. So all his family members all were there. And Birbal took the child of Lord of Akbar and holding in his hand. And when he was in the mid of the river, he threw the child in the water. And the minute Akbar saw it, Akbar immediately jumped inside the water. And then they pulled Akbar out, and they said the child has not been thrown. It was just a doll which I threw down. It was not your actual child. But what was the need for you to jump down the water when you had so many soldiers sitting around, waiting around for your just one flick of a hand, and they were ready to jump? Why did you jump personally? Akbar said, it's my child. I have to protect my child. I can't leave the protection of my child on somebody else's hand. Immediately, Birbal says, similarly, God for God, whose devotees worship him daily, in and out, he jumps. He immediately jumps down. He comes down to this earth and to protect them. And that is the reason why our God comes. Your God doesn't come, because you all don't do worship like our devotees do. So, okay, I can go on like this for hours. What are the questions you have got? Anybody has got any questions can take the best. Any doubts about Ramayana or Mahabharata or anything you can ask.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji,
Yeah.
can you please explain Gayatri Mantra, the thing you told me just now about Gayatri Mantra? I didn't understand that.
See, Gayatri Mantra, people generally think it to be for, dedicated to Lord, the goddess Gayatri. But there is no connection with goddess Gayatri to Gayatri Mantra. Gayatri Mantra is just a mantra which is recited in a specific meter of 24 letters. 24 अक्षर होते हैं और 24 अक्षर को एक स्पेसिफिक मीटर में गाया जाता है. आपने कई अक्षर
मीटर मतलब
मीटर a specific tone.
Chanda is Gayatri, sir. Gayatri is a Chanda, sir.
Yeah, Gayatri is a Chanda, but more than that, how to put it? Anushtup Chandaha. You see, we read Vishnu Sahasranam, it says Anushtup Chandaha. Anushtup is a meter. Chanda is different. Anushtup is a meter. So Gayatri is also a meter in which the mantras are recited.
Why is it then so important, Prabhuji? If it is just a meter.
Just a meter? Then why important?
Just words in a meter. It's just
that
akshar.
Those words which are read in a specific meter, they get this, a tag of, like, what does it mean? Why you have so many ragas in music? What is the importance for Bhairavi raga or Malkons raga? The ragas, right?
But this mantra is very, very powerful, they say.
Yeah, but see, you cannot sing Bhairavi in the night.
Yeah.
Why? What's so wrong? No, there are the rules given. So for certain prayers, for certain recitations, it has to be in Anushtup Chandaha. In certain meters, it has to be in Gayatri Chandaha. That is Gayatri meter, it has to be. They pull one word more, one word is pulled less. I don't know how many of you all have heard Sri Suktam.
I have heard, yeah.
Yeah, Sri Suktam, you see, it is so beautifully mentioned. It is recited that, the way, the tone in which Lakshmi Ma. Huh? Hello. So it's given in a very nice manner. Each verse is given, and where you have to elaborate Lakshmi, Alakshmi. There are two words in the Sri Suktam, Lakshmi and Alakshmi. If one is reverses, the entire follow of the mantra will reverse. That is the best part of it. So that is why Gayatri mantra means it's very powerful, very auspicious, and the worst part in today's date, what we see is Gayatri mantra is put in loudspeakers. Om Bhurva Swaha and all that, all it in YouTube you can get thousands. First and foremost, Gayatri mantra has to be recited it just be whispered, not recited. It has to be whispered very softly. If you speak, the neighbor should not know that you are speaking Gayatri mantra. Second, it is only for men and not for women. That is the reason why Valmiki Ramayan, if a lady reads the entire Valmiki Ramayan, she gets the benefit of reading Gayatri mantra, reciting the Gayatri mantra without doing any offense to the Shastra. Our Shastra is too scientific. It has been planned very nicely that each and every segment of the society and each and every person of every ashram and varna are taken care of
Hare
Yes.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, Gayatri Diksha is not allowed for females, right? What is the reason behind it?
See, ladies, there are certain things. It's not that ladies are something lower, or in fact, they are more superior to men. Ladies are called as dharam patni. Have you ever heard a male being called as dharam pati?
No.
But you will always hear a lady to be called as dharam patni, because she follows dharma more better than a man. But her physiological conditions doesn't allow. Second, the most important, rather 99% of the people don't know, a lady should not recite Om.
Okay.
It hampers the reproductive system of a lady. I know so many female Carnatic singers, lady singers, who recite and they are childless. That is why Shastra says, even in the Bhagavad Gita written by Srila Prabhupada, it is written, Om is referred to as A-U-M. If you all read it very scrutinizingly, deliberately, Prabhupada writes it as A-U-M, and means Om. A lady, if she wants to say, she has to say and not Om. And Gayatri Mantra starts with Om. It cannot be replaced. That is why it is not preferred or should not. And secondly, Gayatri Mantra is given only for one who wears the Janayu thread, the sacred thread. And you must have never seen ladies. Nowadays, everything is happening. That's Kali Yuga. We can't do anything about it. So many things are happening in the name of equality, in the name of Upadharma or concocted religion. Everything is happening. That's, you have to accept that, and you have to find your way in the Shastra. You should, if you go into all the Shastra, then you will be only ending up into fighting with others rather than actually gaining some nectar in your life.
Okay. Yeah. So, Prabhuji, why ISKCON allowed Gayatri Diksha to females? Because
ISKCON was basically formed in abroad where equality have to be given. Now today there are Diksha ladies Diksha Gurus are also there, right? You know that?
Yes.
I think you got to address this matter with the GPC rather than me.
Yes, I understand.
Okay. Anybody has got any other doubts, questions?
Prabhuji, I have a question. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Yeah.
So the usual Gayatri mantra that we chant is different, but a PDF file which you have sent, the Ramayan Balkan. So in that they are saying due to ignorance, people think in this manner. Gayatri mantra means a 24-letter mantra recited in a specific meter, and then it is telling one mantra Veda Vedya Pare Pumsi. So that is the Gayatri mantra. I don't understand.
No. That is not the Gayatri mantra. Gayatri mantra is very clear. Just go to YouTube and type. Get thousands of Gayatri mantras.
Yes, that I know, Prabhuji. Okay, so I was getting confused.
That's a mantra given for Valmiki. Sorry, Lord Ramchandra.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, please recite Gayatri mantra so we can know which is the real Gayatri mantra.
You just go to YouTube and
no, we want to hear from you, sir.
No, it cannot be. It should not be recited on. I just now mentioned in a few minutes before. It should not be recited on a loudspeaker.
Oh, achha.
I just mentioned that just a few minutes before. Gayatri mantra has to be whispered and not spoken loudly.
And it
even
can
if
be
you want to learn, that's a tragedy in today's date that people are putting it on loudspeaker and it's running into cassettes and tape recorders and YouTube and all that. It's a tragedy. You can't do anything.
You can whisper at any time of the day and night or specific time.
You have to be in a clean position. You have to first take your bath in the morning. First and foremost, you need to be a brahmana to initiated brahmana to recite it. So many rules are there. Today it's like, why I can't have? It's like, if you can get a BMW, I can also get a BMW. Or do you need a BMW? First and foremost, Why you want to recite that? Why you want to recite something? What do you want to achieve? If I ask a generalized question, what is your goal of life? 99% of the people don't have an answer to that. What is their goal of life? No, sir, I want to do this, I want to do that. Fine, but what is your goal of life? And mind you, Shabari was not Gayatri initiative. Lord came searching to. We don't want to make our devotion strong, but we rather want to make, I don't know, I'm on live show, so I have to count my words and speak. Okay, anybody else got any other questions and doubts?
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
The thing you said that the Lakshmi and Vishnu came to this Rama avatar for the marriage to have a
they are eternal concerts, and they wanted to have, this is a bhava of the acharyas, of mainly of the Ayodhya acharyas. Many Ayodhya acharyas, they end with Balkand. They don't read further Valmiki, any Ramayana rather.
Okay, but similar story I heard that they actually wanted some kind of ekantavas. Okay, so for that they had this all incarnation, and then therefore they went to 14 years.
See, first and foremost, ekantavas is a secondary factor. They wanted to only pour mercy at every nook and corner. If you go to the Sri Sampradaya, they will say very nicely, Sita Mata was so merciful on giant, a crow which is perching on the chest of Sita Maya. And she has been so merciful. So forget about ekantavas and all that. That becomes a small additional input, or rather an additional thing. The main purpose of Lord Rama and Sita, why Sita got kidnapped? Why Sita was not smart enough to protect herself? She wanted to see. देखती हूँ वहां जाके preaching करती हूँ. I'll go there and I'll preach to him. I'll try to change him. When she realized this fellow cannot be changed, she was so merciful. She tried to change him. He was not ready to change. So finally, she told, let Rama come and finish him. No other way possible. Yes, any other doubts? Because next time we will not be having so much of time for doubts. We will be just starting with the thing. Okay, next, I think Ekadashi coming on which date?
25th.
Every week, or you wanted every Ekadashi? Which way you want? You all will have to decide. Hello?
Every week is okay.
Yeah, I mean, I need a poll, at least main people have to say.
Every
you want
week.
it Ekadashi to Ekadashi, or you want to have weekly?
Should I do the poll?
You can do a poll. We'll put a poll in the group, so then we'll have a better idea, and then we take a call. That is the case, then every Wednesday evening we will have, every week Wednesday we can have.
Prabhuji, we can do the poll, like I'll send a poll on the WhatsApp itself.
Yeah, you send the poll on the WhatsApp, and then we can take a call, and